Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland, and we're here talking about Cleveland Restaurant Week from Cleveland Independence once again. And we're talking with Cory Kobrinski, who is the executive chef over at Astoria Café and Market. Thanks, Cory, for joining us.
Oh, absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And we're here with Leo Hines, Director of Operations of Taproot Hospitality Group. Leo, thank you so much for talking today.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
Yeah, this is it's pretty exciting. Cleveland Independence is this group. It's a pretty unique group nationally, where a bunch of the chefs and owners all get together and work as a team and market things like Cleveland Restaurant Week and other services. So thank you guys for taking a couple minutes out of what's always a very busy day. I don't know how you do it. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. You guys are busy supplying, serving, preparing foods. So thanks for taking a few moments. Cory, over at Astoria
Absolutely.
Cafe and Market. I didn't realize that was actually named after the neighborhood in Queens, Astoria, that
Absolutely.
everybody
Yes.
knows, right?
Yeah, that
And
beautiful,
it's
beautiful neighborhood.
yeah, and it's known for its Greek population because you
Exactly.
guys are doing the whole Greek vibe over there. And Asteri means stars, right? So
Exactly.
that's pretty cool. Talk about your focus on Mediterranean food and the whole thing you got there with the market and the restaurant and the whole vibe.
Mhm. Well, the whole concept here was we're kind of the child of Agora Foods International. The Concios family, the Daniels family, opened a wholesale business where they're importing goods directly from the old world, from Europe, from Greece, Italy, France, Spain, some
Yeah.
Northern Africa. And their goal was they wanted to be able to show how special these products were, and they wanted to open a storefront right on Detroit Avenue where people could come, park, walk, come shop cheese, shop charcuterie, olives, olive oil. And then, we wanted to have a little cafe to where we could really kind of feature and get creative with some of the products that we do import from overseas. So that was, it started off a small concept and it kind of has blown up over the years to something that we've reached out to the community. The community has just been so supportive and helpful and loving everything we've been able to supply. So it's bringing a little of the Mediterranean to Cleveland, Ohio.
It really is, it's right there on the street and you can pop in, you got the market right there inside the door and you can pretend you're in Europe. We've traveled to Greece. My wife's
Mhm.
half Greek. The food is fabulous and you're getting products there that you really can't get elsewhere. And then pop
Yeah,
over and sit
absolutely.
down at the cafe and get some fabulous creations that you're involved in. Leo, talk about an inspired operation over there with Kathleen D'Angelo and her husband Andrew founding the Ohio Valley Group and these two amazing facilities, Sapphire Creek Winery and Gardens and Orchid House Winery, that really combine their passion for gardening, architecture, fine wine. Talk about where that all came from and how it manifests itself here in Chagrin Falls and in Aurora, right? With Orchid House Winery.
Yeah, that's right. So, Kathleen and Andy, they founded the Ohio Valley Group, a little over 30 years ago. That was very successful for them throughout their time here in Chagrin Falls. And, in traveling and taking vacation, they traveled out to Napa Valley and they really fell in love with, the grounds of the wineries and kind of the gardens and thought that they could bring that back to Northeast Ohio. So, they had 15 acres here in Chagrin Falls slash Bainbridge area and they built Sapphire Creek, back in 2018. Primarily at that time, the idea was to be an event center, so weddings, corporate private events. That kind of blossomed into building a commercial kitchen, and restaurant operations followed shortly after. And then, fast forward to 2023, she purchased what was then Thorn Creek Winery. We transformed that into what it is today, which is Orchid House Winery. Brought that same passion, for restaurant service and event service over to Aurora as well. We were able to open, a members only speakeasy in the basement there called the Never Ordinary Bourbon Society. And we also just recently, opened our second location in downtown Chagrin Falls with that concept as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, it's
so
great.
yeah,
It's I love how they've combined their own passions for so many things. And Cory, same with you guys. I mean, you've really focused in on these old world family recipes that
Absolutely.
can seem sort of old fashioned when you're growing up and your grandma's bringing out these recipes, but they get handed down. And talk about how you continue to update them, because this is what's fascinating to me. You got the recipe, right? And it's timeless and it's classic, and you don't want to mess with it, sort of, but you kind of have to when you're in a place like Astoria. You're right there in Gordon Square, hot neighborhood. People are expecting some of the new trends and tastes. How
Absolutely.
do you manage to do that as executive chef, to kind of
Uh,
blend the old and the new?
it's I kind of always take that stance. It's hard to kind of mess with something that is almost perfection. And a lot of these, this whole city is built on, the immigrants coming over, and we all have those old recipes. So, when it comes, I guess, to modernizing it is kind of finding the trends that maybe are becoming more of an abundance. Um, Pricing also comes into the ability to adapt recipes. Sometimes with these older recipes, those were in abundance back in the day, but now they almost become a delicacy to have on the menu. So there are some adjustments you have to make with ingredient availability that also would go into playing with these recipes. And I think some of that, along with like the pricing of goods, and it just takes a creative chef to kind of adapt to kind of what the world is affording you to use.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Things change and you got to change with it and stay up, which you
Yeah.
guys have. And Leo, I know that the passion that Kathleen and Andrew had for landscaping and gardening and sort of the environment, the winery, the land itself. Talk about how they've kind of integrated all that into these amazing facilities that when you come in, it's not just open the door, you're in a restaurant, have your meal, go home. It's really the entire environment that they've embedded, right, in this concept.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. It's to walk the gardens and kind of see the whole property when you come to either one of Sapphire or Orchid House is part of the experience, right? So, the guests are always excited, when they finish their meal and we offer to, can we get you another cocktail so you can take that with you. You can walk around and see the gardens. That's a huge piece of what we do, but we've really dialed in the last couple of years also on the food and service. And that's a great experience as well. Coming up in the next few months, obviously the gardens aren't as exciting as they are during the months of May through September. We kind of everything gets trimmed back, right, and ready for regrowth
Yeah,
next spring.
right.
But it's still a great experience to come out and see what we're doing with our food
Yeah,
and our service and our cocktails. We've really come a long way, so we're excited
yeah.
for that. We're excited to invite everyone for Cleveland Restaurant Week. It's always increased growth throughout those couple weeks. People are excited to come in and try the $39 prefix menu, and
Right.
the traffic is great. So we're excited to be a part of that.
Yeah, exactly. And the landscape changes, as you say, in the fall. And one of the nice things that also happens in the fall, as you mentioned, Cleveland Restaurant Week, it's coming right up here, November 3rd through 14th. It's actually 2 weeks, people. It's not 1 week. It's a 2 week event. And most of them, as you mentioned, Leo, are doing a $39 sort of three-course prefix menu. But it's important to mention that we have a variety, a diverse group of people participating. We probably over 30 different restaurants that are participating this year, which is a lot for a city of our size. And some are doing it a little different and doing it their own way. So when you walk in, you can check out on their website, clevelandrestaurantweek.com, and you can see what is and what isn't available. But let's go through and talk what each of you guys are planning to do for Cleveland Restaurant Week as an example of what the rest of the community is doing. So, Cory, talk about your sort of plans for Cleveland Restaurant Week 2025.
The plans this year, we're gonna do a nice little Greek menu, prefix menu, $39 for three courses. We're gonna start off with a nice charcuterie and cheese board that our cheesemonger Tom's gonna put together for us. The character he is, he always has a story. So basically, every day of Restaurant Week, there's going to be a different charcuterie and cheese board that we're going to kind of throw out there for that first meal. And then he's just going to, give everyone the story behind why we bring these beautiful cheeses to Astoria. And then our main course, we're going to do a moussaka. a recipe I'm going to develop from Michael Salakis, a beautiful Greek chef over in New York City, where he does more of a deconstructed, a little modernized version of the moussaka, where it's layered potato and eggplant and a pulled lamb with a bechamel sauce. So it's more going to be a visually appealing dish as opposed to more of the casserole style dishes that moussaka is kind of known for. And then we're going to end with a patsavura dessert, a beautiful kind of rolled up ball of field dough in a beautiful custard of olive oil and Greek yogurt, a little brown sugar. So just and
Wow.
with the sweet tooth.
Yeah, there is nothing like the moussaka. I'm telling you, I'm so blessed. My wife, my mother-in-law, Greek, they make their own. It's the best, by the way, in the world. No
It's
offense. There's no competing with the family recipe,
I
and
agree. I agree.
it's incredible. If people haven't had it, it's such a delicacy, you know. So, and Leo, what are you guys doing? At both Sapphire Creek and Orchid House Winery, you must have some pretty interesting plans for Cleveland Restaurant Week 2025.
Yeah, we're going with a limited style menu at both properties. So, a small selection of first course, kind of entree course, and then finishing up with dessert at both properties. All of our desserts are made in house at both properties.
Mm.
A little different offerings at both places, which is pretty cool. We make our soups in house. We have classic French onion soup that we're offering at both places. Our house made Caesar salad, Caesar dressing. We make some sourdough bread in house that we offer on our menu. That's going to be part of it as well. Honey hot chicken sandwich, salmon entree, butternut squash ravioli to go with those fall vibes. Little brown butter sage sauce on there. Tiramisu, creme brulee, chocolate cake. Those are a few of the things we're offering off the Sapphire menu. So.
Wow. I don't know why we
Beautiful.
do these videos at noon, around the noon hour, when I just start drooling when you guys are describing, but what a selection. That is so cool that you're able to offer such a wide variety for offerings this year. Cleveland Independent's coming up on its 20th anniversary. I didn't even realize this. We've been working with them for so long and interviewing so many of the chefs. Over 70 members. And I think that's something for us really to be proud of, And they do professional development. They offer the gift cards, the e-gift cards, the deck of playing cards with savings where you can bring it around to all the different restaurants. So glad to have you guys, as a part of that, as a part of Cleveland Independence, and as a part of a collaborative group. So I thank you so much for participating in Cleveland Restaurant Week. And thank you guys for taking a few moments here to just give us a little sneak peek of what you got coming and what's cooking behind the counter back there, because we don't often get to see it. It's very cool when you get to really talk to the chef and hear what's going on, and even stroll the neighborhood, Gordon Square, or the grounds out at Sapphire Creek or Orchid House. I mean, to me, it's that whole experience. When you travel, whether you're at the Far East, whether you're in Europe, wherever you go, they do food in a way that's a little more integrated, I think. And both your places and others here in Cleveland, they understand that, whether it's down in the center of Cleveland or whether it's out somewhere else. We have a fabulous environment here in our region. So thank you for bringing that to us. And thanks for taking a few moments here so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Our
Thank
pleasure.
you so much.
Thank you so much. Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from Cool Cleveland. Have a great week in Cool Cleveland.